Hello, welcome to the Avid Knits podcast. My name is Sarah, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry both as Avid Knits. Today is Thursday, July 18th, and this is my little knitting and crocheting and crafty corner of the internet. So for all of the new viewers, thank you so much for checking me out, and if you are a returning viewer, a very warm welcome back. It's great to have you here. So today we're going to talk some finished objects. I have a couple of whips and some future plans that I'm really excited about because as you will know if you've been following me for a while, I am over summer. I'm done with it. It can go away now, and that would be great. So here at the top of the episode, I just want to address last month's podcast. I'm so sorry it's been so long, you guys. My son got sick, and then I got sick, and ultimately I think you just need to take some time for yourself. The Ravelry thing was a giant divide in our community, and it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing that not everybody thinks that anti-racism work is necessary. So if you haven't seen my stance on Ravelry, I fully support their decision, and I go into some of the reasons why on my last podcast. I do want to apologize to those of you who watched that podcast for the fact that I kind of lost the vein and got really emotional about the kids in the camps. That's still a severe ongoing issue, and the news that's been coming out of those camps is absolutely heartbreaking. If you can, please donate to a charity in your area that is funding change in those camps. Raíces, Texas is a really good one, and I'll link to a couple more in my show notes today. Really quick, I want to talk about something else that's been going on in our community, and that is the really ugly situation that happened between Nathan Taylor, who is Sockmentician on the interwebs, his husband, and the BIPOC community. So for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to give you a really small touch on it. If you look on my Instagram, I will give you a link to somebody who has the actual screenshots of the commentary in their highlights. But basically, Nathan claimed to have began the diverse knitty hashtag and basically wrote a nursery rhyme-ish type poem, encouraging all of us to stop being mean to each other. Basically that you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, and that you can't change people's minds if their backs are up. And a lot of the BIPOC community and those of us who do anti-racism work found it to be very tone policing, kind of tone deaf, very kind of condescending. However, the post itself was not as damaging as what happened in the comment section, which was an absolute dumpster fire. He did a very, very poor job addressing any concerns, particularly those from the BIPOC community. And when that was pointed out to him, he just became very defensive. And then his husband got involved, and his husband was very vicious and very ugly about the whole thing. Nathan closed the comments on that post, but his husband continued to post about it. Nathan was apparently admitted to the A&E, which is the UK equivalent of an emergency room, I believe. And when people reached out with support to say, hey, I hope everything's okay, we would really like you to still address this thing, his husband weaponized his illness and said that the online community had put him in that position and had basically pushed him to a mental breakdown, and that it was their fault. And if you truly cared about Nathan, then you would go to these people's spaces and you would tell them how wrong that they were. Mental health is a giant issue. It is a very real thing. However, there comes a point of using your mental health as a weapon, as an out, and as a tool for blame. As a mental health sufferer, that is not okay, and it's not acceptable. A couple days after this, Nathan's husband wrote on his blog that he was basically should have been put on suicide watch, was kind of what they were going to do. And I guess the doctors chose not to, basically. Well, about 3 days later, Nathan had a book signing event at a yarn festival in the UK, and instead of bowing out and saying, my health is not where it needs to be right now, he attended anyway. And when a woman of color approached him to ask him to consider making amends with the fiber community because of the hurts he had caused, he very close to physically attacked her. Had his fists in her face and a bunch of other stuff I'm not going to go into for safety reasons. I don't want to trigger anybody. But basically, he got very, very loud and very intimidating. He is quite a bit taller than what she is, and became very profane and just screaming through the whole festival that it was her fault he was sick, and just really not conducting himself in a good manner. Now, a lot of you will say that, oh, he had a mental break. You can't blame him for his actions. And yes, I believe you can. And I say this because Nathan has been very open with his health and his medical struggles and his mental health struggles. And he is, by living and by trade, a performer. Him and his husband both performers. His husband's a composer. Nathan himself is an actor and a singer. Both of them have such a professional capacity of being out in the world and turning themselves on for a crowd that if Nathan doesn't know when he's not capable of being on, then who does? So it is highly unfortunate that he's going through these struggles right now. I truly, truly wish him the best of recovery. At that same time, I would very much like to see him take accountability for his actions and the hurts that him and his husband have both caused this community. Being part of a marginalized group does not exempt you from the types of pain that you can cause with your privilege, your sexism, you live in a white supremacist, racist system. You have internalized those things, and it is a very active fight to not be that way. And all of us mess up, and that's fine. And when the community came to him, I feel like he should have seen it as, this is 50 of my friends in a community I care about telling me that they feel like what I did was hurtful and was wrong, and I love my friends, I love my community, so therefore I want to make amends. And let me reevaluate what I've done. Let me take some time and say, I need some time. I'm going to close some comments. I want to really research this and make sure that I take the appropriate next steps. But, it's very hard for white people, for us to hear that we might have been wrong. So many of us, when they talk about racism in school, they talk about hate crimes against Black people. They talk about lynching. They talk about the KKK. They talk about crosses. They talk about slavery, so we are actually taught that if you're not doing one of those overtly horrid things, then you can't possibly be racist. Only racist people only do these outward. And that's not true. It's not true at all. And I think that that's what makes this racist and white supremacist system so successful, is that it is very insidious. And even people of color find themselves that they have internalized certain things by living in this system. It's a survival mechanism. You conform to a certain extent so that you can just get by. I'm very happy to see that getting by isn't enough anymore. And I'm extremely happy to see where this community can go in the future, now that we're having these really hard discussions and we're growing with each other and we're opening up to each other and realizing that we're not perfect. So all of that to say that if you make a statement or if you say something and somebody in the community comes to you to tell you how it was hurtful, please believe them. Marginalized people, Black people, Indigenous people, people of color are going to know a lot more about what microaggressions and racism looks like than you will as a white person, because, asking, well, where are you from? No, where are you really from is very acceptable for white people. We don't consider that to be rude, technically, and it's extremely rude. So anyway, just all of that on the heels of what's going on in the fiber community and what's going on our televisions and in our news right now. So yeah, if you are able and you have the brain space, the bandwidth, or financially are able, please contribute to a charity, look into your local community, see how you can help out. Okay, the greatest way to affect change is going to be at your local level. I mean, the federal elections definitely matter, but your who you elect for your mayor, who you elect for your local representatives, and the change that you affect in your communities are going to be probably more powerful and more pronounced than what you really think that they are. Okay, so anyway, I really hope that you guys reach out and do something like that. So let's see. Moving on, we are going to get into the knitting area of the podcast. So I'm going to start out with finished objects because I finally have one and I'm really excited about it, which is really good because if I had taken 3 weeks off of podcasting and had come back with no finished objects, I'm pretty sure that all of you would have been really upset. I'm sorry. I'm still getting over the end of this sinus thing. In Texas, we call it the crud, and basically it's that sinusy nonsense that you get from having the AC on, and then it's humid and it's hot outside, and you come in and it's cold, or we have had the fringes of Hurricane Barry come through. So the other day I was sitting outside knitting because it was below a broil. It was fantastic. And within 15 minutes, it went from 89 degrees to 77. And then it stormed and thundered and lightninged and rained a bunch for like 20 minutes. And then 30 minutes after that, it was back to 93. So it's been a long week, you guys. So I have my handy dandy hot tea to help me get over some of this froggy croakiness. And yeah, wish me luck. Let's see. Well, I didn't even bring it over, you guys. So I'm trying a new camera setup today, and I am actually using the front-facing camera on my phone. Normally I use the rear-facing, so I have absolutely no idea what I look like. So I decided I would use the front-facing this time, just to kind of see how it ends up. I actually kind of like the setup with the background here. So if you have a feeling about it, other than the fact that I'm still trying to teach myself to look at the camera as opposed to watching myself on the screen. I've never watched myself before. It's really weird. If you have any suggestions or any ideas about what I could do to improve this space, then please let me know. I'm planning on making a little podcast nook in a corner that is right behind my phone that you can't see, but I don't have a seating area over there yet, so I still need to get seating in that area of the room. Money, it's a thing. Anyway, back on track. I said I wasn't going to do tangents. I have notes and everything, you guys. I was going to be on track this time. So, my finished object for the week is the Spring Vibes top by Leslie Ann Robinson. It is a very simple summer top, and I know that I've been talking about I have the Summer Sun Make-Along going on in my Ravelry group, and I have not yet participated. So this is my contribution to that. It is a short sleeve top. They're basically just little brioche cap sleeves, and then this sits on your shoulders right here, and these kind of drape off so that they just end up being little cappy kind of drapey things. They're really cute. It has a brioche panel down the front, and it's very simple brioche. Leslie Ann Robinson is Knit Graffiti on Instagram, and I will link her in the show notes. All of her brioche patterns are very beginner friendly. They're very beginner friendly. This is a really great top, and it worked up super fast. I knit mine out of Autumn and Indigo in the Classic Sock, which is a 75/25 merino nylon, and the Brook colorway, which is showing up pretty accurately, actually. I knit the 34-inch size. Claire's yarn is wonderful. It does grow. So, for the size that I knit, I should have done 2 lace repeats here up on the bust area. I only did 1 because I knew that the top would grow, and honestly I was playing some yarn chicken. Now that I'm done, I realize I could have gone ahead and done that second panel, but I'm really glad I didn't, because I think I'm gonna have to stick this in the dryer to kind of shoop it up because it's super long. Like, it's a lot longer than it's supposed to be, and that's just a quality of the yarn. I knit with her yarn pretty regularly, and I did do a gauge swatch, but your gauge swatch is this big, as opposed to a shirt that is this, well, you can't see that on the screen. It's a 15 inches, you know, and 15 inches, especially with brioche in the middle, is going to drape quite a bit more. So her sock yarn is wonderful. It's great for garments. It is very drapey. That's my finished object. I don't think I have another one. I feel like I finished something else, but I can't think of what it was. Oh, yeah, I can. So my niece turned 9. I have 2 nieces that have the same birthday on the 13th. And the oldest one turned 9 on Saturday, this past Saturday, and I crocheted her a unicorn. And I will pop a picture of it here. It is the Lavender Unicorn by Stitch Witch Creations. It is a crochet pattern, and I just knit it out of a bunch of Hobby Lobby acrylic stash that I have from this deep stash, you guys. I like to use it for stuffies. I don't particularly agree with Hobby Lobby's business practices for things that they won't provide their employees as far as insurance goes. That's just me. But if you know, it's very budget friendly. It is a great yarn. If that's something that you care to purchase, I have nothing bad to say about it. So, okay. Work in progress. I have one new work in progress. So I'm still working on my freshly brewed blueberry waffle socks from Artistic Lily. I'm not going to show those. I haven't made any progress on them. I have the Ripple Bralette by Jessie May, and I don't remember where I was last time I showed it to you, to be honest. It's been a while, you guys. I didn't watch the last episode. I didn't even read the notes before I came over here and did this. So I can't really remember where I was, but I have finished one side of the front, and I just need to do I pulled the needles out. Oops. I need to do the I-cord strap so that it'll come around to the back and attach. I just have to do the other side of the bra. This is knit out of Countess Ablaze. This is blowing out just a little bit. It's not quite that pinky neon. Back here maybe? Some sort of ish. Right there. That's what it looks like. I don't know why I had to do all that, but I got it. Anyway, it is knit out of Countess Ablaze in her Lady Persephone sock, which is a BFL nylon in her Tits Out colorway. So this is, if I want exposure, I will get my tits out. Yeah. And the other work in progress that I think you've seen, you guys, I'm so sorry. I really can't remember. I'm just going to go through it like you haven't seen any of these. My other work in progress is the middle of the row. I'm in the middle of a row because, you know, like you do. This is going to be the Pavement Sweater by Vera Valimaki. It is being knit out of Night Owl fibers in her Tawny Owl base, which is a 100% superwash base. It's a gray and beautifully speckled yarn called Space City, which is named after Houston because we have NASA and the Johnson Space Center here. Anyway, yeah, and those are both kind of living in my Danica bag, which I got from, I'm sorry, I can't see it, so I'm just gonna, there we go. I got from Hill Country Weavers at the Houston Fiber Fest, and it's just these cute little creepy animals, and I just think it's adorable. I love it very much. It does not have any interior pockets or anything. It is not meant to use as a project bag. It's like a toiletries kind of carry bag, and it does have, it's supposed to have a little pink tassel, right? It came off like the first day, and it's on my desk somewhere. It's here. I'll have to reattach it. Another thing that I got at Houston Fiber Fest that I have not shown on the podcast is a Timetrade Shawl kit from the Farmer's Daughter Fibers. Farmer's Daughter is run by Candace, who is based in Montana. Not that you'll see this, but hi, Candace. She is so sweet. Yeah, I've met Candace twice in person, usually by accident. We live 2.5 hours from Hill Country Weavers, which is a large yarn shop in Austin, and it is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. If you're ever in the Austin area, I really suggest you go. Suzanne is has a great shop going, which is fantastic. The first time I met Candace, I actually met her with Caitlin Hunter. It was totally by accident. I had no idea they were at a trunk show, and I didn't know there was a trunk show. I just went. So that was the first time I met her. That would have been 2017 maybe. And she had these kits there then, and I didn't buy one because why would you buy something that you really want to make? And I've been kind of eyeing it ever since, so like the last 2 years. And then she stopped making them. She stopped doing them, and I was like, oh, I was so sad. Well, at Houston Fiber Fest, Suzanne and her worked out that she would make a few kits for Houston Fiber Fest, I guess, and she did, and I bought one because I was not going to miss out again. So I am making the Timetrade Shawl by Caitlin Hunter, and to be honest with you guys, I'm almost done. I'm on the last chart. So, Timetrades has 2 main colors and then a pack of 5 minis. If I think of it, I'll put a picture of the original here, but you're about to see it, so if I don't remember, don't be mad. I will put a picture of my yarn kit right here so you can see what it looked like in the beginning. So, sorry, I'm trying to organize how this works. Okay. It is a rectangular shawl, so it's just a wrap, which is one of my favorite shapes. I honestly don't enjoy knitting shawls. Like, I hate knitting shawls. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the rows inexorably just get bigger and they're never ending. And I get really annoyed. I get tired of doing it. But this has a finite number of stitches, so you cast on like 120 something, and then that's it. It stays there for the whole time. So mine starts out at this pretty little brown, this really pretty brown, and it goes into these 2 pinks, and then it crosses into this teal, and goes into this really light aqua, and then goes into the darker of the main colors, this blue variegated, and then into the lighter, and it has this beautiful feather and fan motif with some wave in it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And so now I'm on my last section, which is going to be more of this dark color. So I don't know the names of any of the minis. I'm pretty sure that most of them are repeatable colorways that she offers. I just don't know the names to them. This blue variegated right here is called Heartbreak Hotel. And the white main color with the purple and yellow and green speckles is called Spring Fever. And honestly, I would really love a sweater out of this colorway. So this is all in her sock base. I'm actually not sure what that blend is. She doesn't have any up on her website right now, and the tag did not have any fiber information at all. It didn't even have colorway names. So the reason that I gush about how sweet Candace is that I emailed her, like I contacted her as a work order type thing, like through her website, and was like, hey, can I have the colorway names to this so that, I really like this one color. And she was like, I'm so sorry, we don't make them anymore. I totally don't even remember. Could you shoot me an email or a picture on Instagram? And I didn't get the response. And I woke up the next morning and there was a response from her that was tagged on my photo of the yarn thing. So she went to my Instagram to go through my pictures to answer my question. And that was just so above and beyond. And it was really wonderful. And I would say that is a very good, sorry, my eyes are watering. That's a very good summary of my experience of Candace's customer service. She's just really sweet. So anyway, this is the Spring Fever in the cake, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a creamy, I don't know if it's undyed, but it's a really creamy base, and it's just got all these little pops of color. I think that no frills without the mohair, like just something really basic, a really basic raglan would just be really cute in this. And then the other color is Heartbreak Hotel, which, to be honest, when I saw it in the cake, I was like, or when I saw it in the skein, I was like, okay, I mean, that's nice, but I have really, really enjoyed working with it. The blue isn't as, it's obviously there. You can tell it's a blue yarn, but the blue is not as, I'm trying to find a bigger spot of it. It's not as dominant as I expected it to be. And so you've got quite a lot of the variegated, which adds a really beautiful feel to it. So anyway, yeah, that's my work in progress, and I'm almost done. I'm really excited about it. It's just been flying off the needles. It's been kind of I kind of needed a palette cleanser after some of the garments that I've been knitting. And I have a couple more. I have one going and I have one on the way. So Suppose I should get my act together, right? Because it's not going to end anytime soon. Yeah, so let me check my notes because I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I should be talking about something else and I can't think of what it is. Nope, that's it. Awesome. All right, so all I have left really is future knitting. And if you look, I'm gonna tilt the camera, okay? If you look right here, so those greens in that package and that pretty pink on the top of it. All right, that is, sorry guys. Okay, that is some Plutolopi, which is an unspun Icelandic wool, and it knits up at a worsted gauge. I've seen a few people use it, and it makes beautiful fabric. It's super, super light. Sorry. Anyways, I really want to be able to use that, and I think I'm going to knit the Keys pullover by Trin Annalie, and I will put it right here so you can see what it looks like. I think I'm going to knit that out of it. And then I also have plans for a stripy sweater using, there's 3 different brands of charcoal gray right here. And then I have a pack of blue minis that gradiate into each other from Frab Just Fibers. And I think I'm going to make a Ray Ray sweater, which is this right here by Lena Hoy. And those are my 2 futures. I still have a knit graffiti shawl that I've shown you before. The Sizzle, I can't remember if Sizzle Pop is the Stephen West shawl that I really want to make, or if that's Leslie. I'll put it right here because magic of editing, I can correct all this. Anyway, so I have some whips that still need to be done. I have a couple socks on the go still, and I'm just not in a sock mood. I'm not. I finished my husband's Lupin socks that I forgot to bring over, so picture. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as knitting goes. So life stuff. Summer is birthday season in my husband's family. Everybody has a birthday. So that's pretty much where my time has been going on the weekends. You know, we get through the week. I have school with my son and my husband works a lot. So we spend a lot of time together during the week and just trying to get through it. And then on the weekends, it's been a lot of family stuff. We were intending to go to the SSK market this weekend in Nashville. So if you're going, I'm super jealous. Say hi to Amy Florence for me. Give her a hug if she'll let you. I really was looking forward to that. You know, Dragon Horde Yarn is going to be there. Stress Knits is going to be there. Fat Squirrel, Amy Beth is going to be there. Everybody and their dog is going to be there that I really, really wanted to see. But one of my, so I said I had 2 nieces that were born on the same day. We had the oldest party last weekend, and then the younger one, her party will be this coming weekend. So I'm not going to be able to make it. I mailed out a swap for a fiber friend. I have found a couple of ladies in my local area that knit and crochet, so, you know, I've been hanging out with them a little bit on about once a week we get together. That's about it. I did want to talk about Hill Country Weavers just for a second. Hill Country Weavers posted up a very transparent anti-racism inclusivity policy this past week. They did acknowledge the fact that it has taken them a very long time to get on the bus and to do that. So I'm hopeful to see what changes they make coming in the future. I do know that they are planning to make a $2,000 donation to Raíces, Texas. They were planning to do a fundraiser and match what their customers paid, but felt like that wasn't the path they wanted to take. So they are going to lead the way with $2,000. And if you would like to piggyback onto their donation or add to it, there is a link on their website, and I will post it in the show notes that you can do that with. So I'm very happy to see a Texas yarn store step up and make a statement regarding that. A lot of people have expressed concern that it's a little bit late. You know, it seems to me that there's an influx of people doing this again, of you're safe here and I stand with you, but there hasn't been a lot of movement. So it's really great to see, one of my favorite yarn stores come on board. I'm really hopeful to see where they go in the future with that. And I think that's about it, you guys. Summer Sun Make Along is going on in the Ravelry group. It does go until July 31st. You have a really good chance of winning prizes. There's only a couple of us that are doing it, or who have entered. You can double dip. If you've knit a top for somebody else's make along and you want to pop it in there, you can do that. I'm not fussy. I don't care if it's finished. As long as you did it this summer, like you freshly finished. Like don't pull something out of your stash that you did like 2 years ago, please. I don't care what it's made out of, just as long as it's something summery or a layering piece, because I know that Southern Hemisphere doesn't have summer right now. Sorry, my garden spider co-host is back. So for those of you who are new to the podcast, my window faces into my backyard, and we have garden spiders because Texas and everybody has garden spiders. So some of them are garden spiders, some of them are jumping spiders, and they crawl along my window, and it's very distracting. So I've come to term them as my little co-hosts. I'm not a spider hater. I know which ones are poisonous in my state, and I try really hard to avoid them. Other than that, if I can rehome you outside, I will. And now I'm rambling. What are you doing this summer? What's your plans like? Are you ready for it to be over yet? Are you sick of being hot? I'm sick of being hot. My son's birthday is next month. He will be 8. Sad day. No, he'll be 8, and we have no idea what we're gonna do for that. And we have a trip coming up in October. And that's it. That's my summer plan, you guys. I'm just trying to get through it. So fill me in on what you're doing so that I can, as Caroline says, live vicariously through you. And yeah, I hope that you have a really wonderful weekend and a very knitty week. And I am hoping to be back on weekly schedule. So thanks for bearing with me. We will chat soon. Bye.